Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another real versus fake video, and as you can see by the title, we are doing a real versus fake of the Modern Renaissance palette. Now this palette isn't exactly brand new, but it's relatively new in the makeup world, so I decided that I would get myself a real palette and a fake palette and compare them for you. Now the real purpose of these videos is really just to help you guys to see how to spot a real palette versus a fake palette, whichever brand it is that I'm reviewing. By no means am I encouraging you to buy fake makeup. If you watch any of my previous videos, you will see the craziness that happened when I did actually put fake makeup on my eyes, and I'll insert that video clip right here for you to see. I can't see anything. Anyway, enough babbling about that. Let's just jump straight into the video. So I'm going to do, as usual, I'm going to have the real palette on the side and the fake palette on the side. We will be doing a side-by-side comparison. Today, I will not be putting any fake makeup on my face because I have learned my lesson. But what I will be doing is swatching the colors side by side so you can see, as well as comparing the packaging and anything else that we find. So jumping straight into it, let's start looking at the real palette. Now this is the real Modern Renaissance palette. And as you can see, it has this really beautiful pink packaging, and it has Modern Renaissance in white, and then this rose gold embossing on the front. If I don't have them side by side, they pretty much look the same. It is the pink packaging. This one's a little dinged up though. It has the Modern Renaissance written over there, and then the gold debossing as well, or the rose gold debossing. So holding them up side by side like this, what you can see is that the shading is different between the real side and the fake side. Basically, the real palette and the fake palette are two different shades of pink. But holding them up side by side, they look really, really similar. What I did notice is that the typeface is slightly different, but it's really difficult to tell unless you're like staring at both of them really intensely. The real palette has a heavier weight to it. It's much heavier than the fake one. Just holding them up, there's a very, very distinct difference. That's probably just in the packaging itself and not really the product. So going into the packaging, I'm going to put the real one at the top for this time and the fake one at the bottom, and at first glance they look really, really similar. You wouldn't really be able to tell the differences. So now if I look at them side by side, they have the same information. So obviously it was just taken from the real palette, and they duplicated the info. As we have learned in the last few videos, if you've been following along with this series, on the fake palette, the ingredients may say the same thing as the real palette, but we really have no idea what the ingredients are in this palette, which is probably why I got an eye infection. The typefaces are slightly different. I think that the real one has a bolder typeface in the back, but I mean, you can really barely tell the difference. And then the only other thing that I can point out is that on the real palette, the resolution of the printing is much better and it's much clearer, whereas the fake one is a little more grainy. Starting with the real palette has this like velvety texture, but when you compare them side by side, it's a slightly different kind of velvet. Again, you wouldn't be able to see that or really know that unless you really had them side by side, because they are so similar. They also have pretty much the same typeface. I think on the real palette, the main difference is that it's just neater. The debossing on the packaging is just done much neater, and it's way more crisp in comparison to the fake one, as well as this debossing of the Anastasia Beverly Hills beneath that title. Looking at the back of both of these palettes, they both have the same sticker with exactly the same information. Again, the main difference that you can really see is that the typefaces between them is slightly different, but you'd really have to be looking at them side by side to be able to tell the difference. Okay, so going into the actual palette, I'm going to open the real one up. So here's a first look at the colors in the real palette. And then we'll do a side-by-side of the real versus fake. Both of the palettes did come with a brush, but I'm not going to do a brush comparison just because I don't feel like it. at first glance again, the colors do look pretty similar, if not exactly the same. The fake palette, the actual pans of the shadows are slightly smaller than the real one. The fake palette has smaller eyeshadow pans than the real palette, so you are getting less product in this one, but the sizes of the actual packaging are exactly the same. The next thing that I'm going to do is swatch all of these colors for you on my arm, and I'm just going to show you real versus fake side by side to see how these colors actually show up on our skin. Alright guys, so that's it for my real versus fake comparison on the Modern Renaissance palette. I have two other videos that I filmed with the real versus fake Kylie Cosmetics products. One is a lip kit comparison and the other one is the eyeshadow comparison. So definitely check those videos out if you want to see more comparisons, as well as check back in a week from now because I am posting videos weekly for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.